you, Brady, you are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. They're always in last. The Washington Commanders just straight up suck. Man, it just suck. Man, that never is all. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there take any time listening to me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Whoever anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, phone in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free. Fire away. But also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free. Fire away. Oh, time out on the field. Got to move the chair here for my buddy Randy. Hold on. Oh, watch your head, buddy. Watch your head. Okay, good. All right, Randy's here. We can continue. He waits for me to start talking, and then he comes on over. Oh, man. I think if I'm just sitting here, and I don't say nothing, he stays over there sleeping. He's in his own world. He's taking a nap. He's snoozing. He's snoring, all that. As soon as I start talking, he wakes up and he comes on over. Unbelievable. Anyway, before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them, so if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. It's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Then finally, also a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. Get off my lawn. I'm one of those old-time farts, right? It's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. It'll be Twitter 3 trillion years from now when I'm long gone. It's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. It's Twitter. That takes you to my Twitter, my Twitter account. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in there every day. And then a link just on top of it takes you to my Facebook group. It's doing simply marvelous. The group has over 7,800 members in it. And it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. And basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in here, but if you become a member, members post stuff in here as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton, there's a boatload, there's an awful lot of New York Giants information going in this Facebook group every day. The New York Giants, the Gridiron. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Well, I'll tell you what, man. The Giants are staying busy. They're staying busy. Somewhere along the line, there'll be a little lull. It'll be a day or two. Might be a little lull here or whatever. But tell you what, man, they're staying busy. I can certainly see. I like it. I like the Shea Tierney thing. I love the Jerome Henderson without a question. That frickin' dude deserves something. Throw the frickin' guy something. Absolutely, right? But Shea Tierney, but I guess you have to, I don't know who came up with it. I don't know if it's a Shane thing, if it's a Dable thing, Dable and Shane thing. I don't know. But I guess they were trying to, I don't even know, make it right with Kafka. You know what I mean? Because, he seemed like maybe, the Seahawks wanted him for a lateral move. Giants, that's my electric football guy. That's the blocker. That's the electric football blocker. They blocked him, just like the Giants got blocked from talking to all those other guys, the defensive coordinators, the special teams coordinators. They got blocked, right? Or the not the defensive or the offensive line coach. The special teams, they got blocked, right? Well, the Giants did a little blocking on their own. So I guess maybe to try to make it right with Kafka. It's like, it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like he was kind of wanting to go maybe. So they're kind of like, they blocked him. So I don't know if they upset him or something or whatever. But now, to stay, once again, I don't know. They're trying to stay in his good graces or trying to make it right or trying to make it up to him or something or whatever. Right, because maybe he wanted to go across the country, but they promoted him, so that's a good thing. Now, also, it's just going to be a matter of time. This might be his last season with the Giants. He's seems he's like a pretty popular kind of guy. I read he was on, I think 6 head coaching interviews. And obviously, I said the Seahawks wanted to talk to him. Didn't mean obviously they were going to hire him. But there was a chance they were going to hire him. So, but they did some promoting. They also brought in 2 new coaches. Now, the one guy I was a little surprised about that they didn't bring in the outside linebacker coach from the Titans because he was let go, right? And pretty much like it seemed like almost everybody under the Vrabel regime was gone. And I thought that they would. Since seems like we're kind of turning into Tennessee East, right? But I thought they might bring in the outside linebacker coach from the Titans, but they didn't wind up doing that. But anyway, let's go over here. So we got they promoted Mike Kafka to assistant head coach. Interesting. The Giants have promoted offensive coordinator Mike Kafka to assistant head coach. Secondary coach Jerome Henderson, which I like this one, to defensive passing game coordinator, and quarterback coach Shea Tierney to offensive passing game coordinator. All 3 will continue in their previous roles, while taking on their additional responsibilities, but also, they'll have additional responsibilities of counting some extra money in their wallets. So, all right. But I mean, obviously, it's a win. It's a win-win for them because they'll be counting some more do-re-mi. They'll get more responsibility. But now Mike Kafka, right? Special teams, offensive coordinator, but also, right? He's got the head coach, right? Assistant head coach title on there as well, too. Right, so that's all huge. So all these guys now I have some extra titles, so that'll be good for them going forward, right? In addition, Charlie Bowen was hired as the new outside linebacker coach. Might be Bowen, and Zach Core was added as the defensive assistant. The move should complete the Giants coaching staff for the upcoming season. So we'll have to wait and see. Earlier this week, as we know, the Giants hired Shane Bowen as their defensive coordinator, replacing Wink, right? And Mike Kelly to assume the open tight ends role after Andy Bischoff left to join Jim Harbaugh staff with the Chargers, right? Bowen and Kelly came from Tennessee, where they served under the now former head coach, Mike Vrabel. Core also comes from Tennessee. First as a quality control coach in 2020, and then worked with the Titans defensive under Bowen, becoming their inside linebacker assistant coach. Now, interesting. I'm going to another thing here. I wanted to read this, but this is got some nice stuff. I mean, once again, a lot of these guys will have to wait and see, and also a lot of it also is a good coordinator, coach, whatever you want to call it, can certainly uplift without question. A good one, right, can take whatever you want to say. The guy's a 5 or he's 6, right? He can make him a 7 or an 8. right? I mean, it's pretty tough to make a guy who's a 5 a 10, no matter how much coaching, right? But what it is to a coach, coordinator, whatever, is to, get the best out of them. Now, as I said, if they're a 5 or 6, or if they're an 8, make them a 9, make them a little bit better. That's with the coach. But they can only do so much, right? A lot of it also has to do with the talent. One thing they say a lot in college, and it's pretty doggone true, right? They say a lot, my Jimmys and Joes can beat your X's and O's, right? Like, meaning a lot of times, like when somebody plays Alabama, okay, and they come in and they got the, whatever, their offense is unbelievable. They got, the trick play, all this stuff and everything, or the defense is, But at the end of the game, usually Alabama winds up prevailing. Why? Because they got the Jimmys and Joes. You might have the X's and O's. You might be a phenomenal, they might be, going up against some great minds, as far as offensive schemes and all that stuff. But a lot of time, most of the time, at the end of the day, it's the Jimmys and Joes beat the X's and O's, right? So a lot of times, I was saying, I was getting back to the coordinators and the coaches and all, they can raise the level of play, but they can only do it so much, obviously, right? A lot of it's got to do, well, a couple things, one is, what can Shane bring in? Okay. And, what talent level do we have for the defense or the offense, whatever, right? But also a lot of it also got to do with, depth / injuries. Because I mean, if you can have all the, you can have star-studded talent up and down the lineup, offense and defense, whatever. But you get some injuries, a lot of injuries. There's only so much you can do. So a lot of it, is obviously going to be on these coaches here, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm not jumping over the moon with all these hires that we've had, but so a couple of them I'm pretty excited about. So could we have done worse? Absolutely. Could we have done better? Well, maybe. Maybe. But forget it. Always takes 2 to tango. Just because there's a good defensive coordinator out there, right? Doesn't mean they want to come there. You know what I mean? It takes 2 to tango. Just because there's a good defensive coordinator out there doesn't mean Dable or Shane wants them, right? You gotta, it takes 2 to tango, right? So, once again, I said, the one thing I love about Wink, whatever was going on behind the scenes with him and the Wilkins brothers, that they were trying to like go behind Dable's back and they had their own regime going on, and from stuff you hear and all of that, I don't know. I just read stuff and all that and everything. But the one thing I love about Wink is he's one of the guys that he'll stand there and he'll he'll open up and he'll answer your questions. His honesty. I always liked that about him. Whenever he was it Thursdays, is that when the coaches would speak to the media, whatever like that. It was always nice. The 10, 11, 12 minutes that he gave was always some good stuff. Unlike Kafka, everybody's different. Bill Belichick was like, somebody will ask Bill Belichick like a 300-word question and this, that, and they'll spend 3.5 hours asking this question and all that, and Bill will be like, "Yep," and then the next person will ask another 7.5 hour long question with there's 37 parts to it and stuff like that, and Bill's like, "Nope," you know what I mean? So you got that, and then you got other guys in between, on the other end, and then you got everybody's kind of in between. I mean, like, with Shane explains things a little bit more, right? Dable's a pretty, he don't give you much. Kafka don't give you much. Said Wink does give you. I mean, I like Wink. I'll always have a little soft spot in my heart. Hope wherever he goes, I hope he does well. I certainly don't have no bad feelings for the guy whatsoever. But all things aside, we had some issues on the defense. We had some good stuff, right? But we had some bad stuff. The one thing was the stopping the run. I mean, it makes it so much easier, right, when you can take something away. Giants couldn't take nothing away. Couldn't take the run away, and not that our by any stretch of imagination was our passing game, passing defense pathetic. Absolutely not. Right, we did a decent job. Right, but we didn't take nothing. It's you like to take the run away, and then let them do what they can maybe with the passing game. But we really didn't take anything away. This past season, hey, we did pretty good with the turnovers. We kept the Giants in some games, right, because of the defense and all that stuff and everything. But we had some issues. We certainly had some issues. And all right, so we got here once again. This is Mike Kafka will have assistant head coach duties added to his role as offensive coordinator. Secondary coach Jerome Henderson, meanwhile, will also be the defensive passing game coordinator, and quarterbacks coach Shea Tierney will take on the additional role of offensive passing game coordinator. So that's fantastic. So it's all, what we're looking at, right, is like with Tierney, right, is that quite possibly when Kafka winds up moving on, probably after this next season, quite possibly, just elevate Shea Tierney. Right, and that seems like what might wind up happening after this, after Kafka winds up leaving. Okay, so we got obviously once again the two newcomers are outside linebacker coach Charlie Bowen, and defensive assistant Zach Core. The moves come a day after the Giants hired defensive coordinator Shane Bowen and tight end coach Tim Kelly, who both coached in Tennessee this past season. So we're kind of a little bit like Tennessee East, a little bit. Early in the offseason, the Giants hired new special teams coordinator Michael Gabriel, and offensive line coach Carmen Brasillo, and running back coach Joel Thomas. So we got a little, right? We got a little change into the guards here. Bowen spent the previous 2 seasons as the Illinois football program outside linebacker coach / pass rush coordinator. So, right. So I like that. He was the outside linebacker coach, but also the pass rush coordinator. Bowen joining the Fighting Illini in January 2023 with 11 years of NFL coaching experience, including 4 with the Cardinals. I wanted to bring this up here because I saw this and I like this. One of these names on this list, well, we're a little familiar with, right? Bowen spent the 2020 to 2022 seasons in Arizona as the outside linebacker coach after originally joining the staff as the assistant linebacker coach. He also served 7 years with the Miami Dolphins from 2012 to 2018, working with the linebackers and defensive line. So he's very familiar with the guys in the box, which is very important, right? With the help of Bowen, outside linebacker group, the Cardinals ranked 5th, okay, in the NFL with 89 sacks from 2020 to 2021. Okay, now once again, right? Very, 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 very important, right? 89 sacks in 2 seasons, 45 sacks a season. Pretty good. Of those, now this is the thing I want to bring up. Of those, out of those 89 sacks, 50 of them came via the outside linebacker position. Now, of course, during that span, 3 Cardinal outside linebackers posted 10-plus sacks. Of course, one of them is Marcus Golden, of course, who was with the Giants, right? Chandler Jones and Hassan Reddick, who we are very familiar with, from him sacking our quarterback many times. Prior to working with the Dolphins, Bowen coached for 3 seasons, 2009 to 2011, as the graduate assistant working with the defensive backs at his alma mater, the University of Iowa. Core just completed. This one university, I have no idea where it's at. I guess I should have looked it up, but I have no idea where it's at. Core just completed his 4th season coaching in the NFL. He was hired in 2020 as a quality control coach to work with the Titans defense under Bowen and became the inside linebacker assistant in 2021. Okay, so he's young, but he's been with Bowen the whole time. So Bowen's not going to bring him over if you don't think, right, he's any good, right? Before joining the Titans, Core spent the 2019 season as an assistant at the University of Texas. Okay. He also spent time at Texas State, Rutgers, James Madison, Old Dominion, Ohio State as an intern, and at Edward Waters University. Where that's at, I had no freaking idea. Okay, so Bowen's coaching timeline. All right, he was at Iowa. From 2008 to 2012, he was with the Miami Dolphins from 2012. 2013 to 15, he was with the Dolphins as an assistant defensive line coach. 2016 to 2018, he was with the Dolphins as an assistant linebacker coach. 2019 with the Cardinals as an assistant linebacker coach. Then he was the outside linebacker coach for the Cardinals. 2020 to 2022, that's when they had all those guys with all the sacks. Right. Then he went to Illinois. Now he's with the Giants. Right now, once again, as a lot of these guys are, he did spend what? Well, all right, he spent what? 4 seasons with the Cardinals. What did he spend? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He spent 7 seasons with the Dolphins. So, there's a chance, because you look at some of these guys and they're kind of like, they bounce around. It's like every other year they go up someplace else. But these guys look like they've been some of the places for at least a little while. So hopefully we got something going on here. And once again, Bowen bringing some of these guys over, this familiarity there, and he's being the defensive coordinator. He's coming over, right? He has familiarity. He has faith. He has hope in these guys, right, that he's bringing over, and he think they'll do a decent job. So, once again, I think a lot of it also has to do is, with the talent. What can we get now? Now, let's not forget, right? We need another edge rusher, right? Looks like Bowen's kind of possibly looking at maybe like a 3-4, something along those lines. Now, Now they had Simmons, right? We have Sexy Dexy, right? So he's done a very good job, okay, of stopping the run. Now apparently what I'm hearing is like with Bowen, he likes to have 3 safeties. He's a 3 safety kind of guy, right? A lot of them, one of the ones are bringing him into the box, kind of like a Landon Collins, somewhere around there. Right, maybe they'll have 2 safeties in the back, and Landon will walk up in the box or something like that. They'll also have maybe the safety, right? He might, if he's in the box, if it winds up being a pass, if he doesn't send them, he might cover the running back out of the backfield. Maybe he might cover the tight end. But look for the Giants to have a lot of 3 safeties on the field quite often, right? Now I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work out. I mean, if they got 3 wide. I don't they're going to have 2 safeties deep. He's going to walk 1 safety up in the box, and then he's going to have 3 cornerbacks. Okay, but that only leaves you 5 other guys. So, but however it works out, he does a very, very. And I got this article here. I'm going to read. All right, they do a good job at stopping the run, which is huge, right? If you can take something away, right? And make them beat you pretty much with the pass, that would be huge. I mean, how many times did we get freaking gashed with the Eagles? They just toying with us with the run. I mean, it just, hopefully Kelsey retires. God bless the guy, man. But hopefully he retires. Because, man, they're just killing us, absolutely just killing us. I mean, we have a hard time, obviously, stopping the Cowboys as well, too. Right? A good team that was able to run the ball, we have a hard time stopping them, right? But I mean, it just seems like Bowen does a very good job, and you need somebody to build around, and the Giants have 2. Okay. As far as like stopping the run. Okay. We got Kayvon. Okay. Love the man to death. I'm so happy he's on our team. I hope he's with the Giants for 450 years. Okay. And he's a very good player and blah, blah, all that stuff. But I'm saying we got two. We got a Karake and we got the sexy, right? So we got two guys, right? Sexy can clog up the middle, whatever like that. And then we got a Karake, who can, clean up anybody gets through. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I'm very excited that hopefully for first time in maybe a little while where we're actually going to stop the run. I mean, I'll be like, of course we got McFadden too. McFadden does very good, but a Karake is a little bit better, right? So we got two guys that you build your run defense around. So that's pretty good. But so as of right now, the Giants looks like we're full. The staff and everything like that, we're all pretty much full. So that's a good thing, right? Now, of course, I brought this up here about why the Giants actually hired Bowen. Now, this is from ESPN. That's a nice long article here. I like this. Why the Giants hired Shane Bowen as their defensive coordinator. And I said it's from ESPN. I was kind of wondering, it's like 28 days, took almost a whole month, and at least 8 reported interviews before the Giants finally landed Shane Bowen to replace Wink Martindale at their defensive coordinator position. Now, as I said, once again, to be fair, I love Wink, and I hope wherever he goes, I hope he does real well, except when he's playing the Giants, of course. But and we had a lot of good things with Wink. But once again, we had some issues, right? So it's not like we're replacing Wink's gone. We're replacing the greatest defensive coordinator of all time, right? So I think Bowen is certainly going to do an adequate job. In certain areas, he might be a little weaker than what Martindale might be. But I just reading some of this stuff, especially with the run defense, Bowen's going to bring a little bit more to the table than Wink will in some of the defensive statistics or categories, shall we say. Then we got this long. There will be no Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel interviews. Those were always unrealistic candidates. Vic Fangio wasn't even a real possibility as he made the switch from Miami Dolphins to the Eagles. So Fangio's good. But I think this is his 4th different team in 5 years. I mean, once again, it doesn't mean he's bad or anything like that. But, also if a guy is a real good defensive coordinator, you want to kind of keep him around. Right? So he's on his 4th team, I think, in 5 years. So I ain't overly worried about him. Giants under coach Brian Daboll interviewed primarily younger candidates, many of whom had little to no experience calling plays. Bowen fits in the younger category. He's only 37. I mean, it's a young coordinator. Let me tell you what. But he was pretty much the only one since he'd been with the Tennessee Titans play caller dating back to the 2020 season. So, I mean, he was calling plays with the Titans when he was like 34 years old. All right. Pretty impressive. It is important given the Giants' current situation. The pressure is on Daboll next season to get his program back on track. That is what made the job less attractive to some of the candidates with their options. Yeah, the thing is if things aren't going real well next season, Daboll's seat's going to get a little warm. Now, if we do once again, if okay, we stay kind of healthy, okay, and we do another 6-11, that seat's going to get pretty warm, right? If we go 8-9, 9-8, or something like that, it might get a little lukewarm. Yeah, a little lukewarm. But the thing is that regardless of the fact is that he knows that it's not maybe so much a make or break season next season, but it could turn into where maybe the 4th season might be a make or break season. But he doesn't want to bring somebody in, per se, who's maybe never called plays, right? Because bringing him in, a defensive coordinator, because Dable can't take over the play. I'm going to take over the defensive play calling duties. That's not going to happen, right? So for him to bring somebody in who maybe doesn't have experience calling plays, that might be a little tricky for him. To rely on a total maybe newbie. My job is almost kind of to the point where it might be on the line, and I'm bringing a newbie in who hasn't called plays before. That's maybe not something that Dable wanted to entertain, shall we say, right? But going through growing pains with a first-time play caller would have been an unnecessary risk for the Giants, a potentially fatal mistake for Dable's head coaching career. With the Giants, anyway. That doesn't mean that Dable would never get another head coaching job. But Bowen's experience is part of what makes him attractive to this particular situation in New York. He has already been through the learning curve. Vrabel, the former head coach with the Titans, even put in veteran coordinator Jim Schwartz to help Bowen in his formative years as a coordinator, and it helped. And we all know Jim Schwartz is a very good defensive coordinator. Very, very good defensive coordinator. Those rookie mistakes are something the Giants couldn't afford this season. Denard Wilson, whom the Giants interviewed twice and thought highly of throughout the process, and I thought they might try to go out and get him, had never been a coordinator, though. Okay. The in-house candidate, Jerome Henderson, had never called plays either. Bobby Babbage, who eventually was promoted into Buffalo, as well as Anthony Campanile, also lacked that experience as well. Bowen comes not only with the play calling experience, but with the track record of producing defenses that consistently perform well in the red zone and on third down, which is freaking huge. Obviously, you hate that stuff. Or bend and don't break kind of team. You know what I mean? But you also want to think like that too, is that they don't give up, the points. I think they gave up like 21 points per game. I think it was last season, meaning the Titans, which, if you think about it, they didn't have the greatest offense in the world, right? It's the same thing like with the Giants, right? When we run Tommy Chicken Cutlet Parmesan on the field and it's 3 plays and a punt and he runs off the field and our defense is back on. Then our defense does whatever. They go off the field. Tommy Chicken Cutlet Parmesan runs back on the field, 3 plays and a punt, right? And he runs off After a while, defense is going to get a little tired. And they did not have, we're not talking, they didn't have Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, but the quarterback situation was not stellar. Okay. They had King Henry back there, but their best offensive, other than Henry, the weapon was Brown, and of course they traded him away to the Beagles. Their offensive situation was not exactly stellar, shall we say. So for their defense to only give up 21 points per game is pretty good. And I said a lot of times, they let the other team maybe kind of get down the field and all, but in the red zone they did very, very well. But also on third downs, that's huge. You can finally get a team to third down. You give yourself a chance to get off the field. That's huge, right? Let's see here. The Titans were first in red zone defense this past season. First. They were in the top 15 each of the past 3 seasons. So they were in the top half, the red zone defense. All right. Now, once again, a lot of it has to do, is maybe, do they have 9 Pro Bowlers on defense? No, right? So a lot of it also has to do with maybe the talent they have as well, too. But as long as they were in the top 15, they were in the top half, in the red zone defense for 3 seasons. Tennessee was also 6th, 3rd, and 17th in third down defense in Bowen's 3 seasons as a coordinator. So third down defense, 6th, 17th, but 3rd. Huge. Okay. Let's see. These were attractive traits to the Giants. They also liked that Bowen's defense have traditionally played a physical brand of football and done a tremendous job of stopping the run. Yes, which is huge, which is something the Giants did not do for the 2 seasons under Wink Martindale. Did not do it. Let's see here. The Titans were ranked first, second, and 13th over the past 3 seasons in stopping the run. First and second. Very impressive. Very impressive, right? Now, of course, you know, they had Simmons, right? But we got Sexy Dexy. Okay, so we got a couple guys you can build around, which is huge. Okay. The Giants struggled stopping the run in each of the past 2 seasons under Wink. It also helps that Bowen, okay, and this is important too, is expected to run a base 3-4 defense, but will adjust his scheme according to the opponent, which you have to do. You have to do that. It's a very similar approach to what the Patriots did during Dable's extensive time working under Belichick. Perhaps most importantly, running a 3-4 scheme allows the Giants to utilize Dexter Lawrence as a nose tackle who lines up over the center. Yes, absolutely. He became a 2-time All-Pro when that was his role. And so we have the Godfather still teaching him, okay, and we can put Sexy Dexy. We're not pushing him out wide or whatever. He's right over the center, okay? That's what he does best. The ball gets snapped, and Sexy Dexy just pushes that center back into the backfield. That's what we like. That's why I frickin' man. You say what you want about Gettleman or whatever like this and all. Sexy Dexy, and it was pick 17. Heck of a pick by Dave Gettleman. Lawrence signed a massive 4-year deal. We know that. It sucks learning a new scheme if that's what it happens, Lawrence said after the season. So that probably would be the most heartbreaking thing, honestly. Now, there is still little doubt that the Giants' defense will look different. It will be nowhere near as aggressive. No, it won't. Bowen's defense in Tennessee can be described as bend but don't break. They weren't very good against the pass, but stiffened near the red zone. Tennessee allowed first downs on 70.5% of opponents' drives, ranking 26, which is not, So, we got some work to do. It's a stark contrast to what the Giants had the past 2 seasons with Martindale. His defense was much more aggressive and finished in the top 7 in the league in 3 and outs. So the Giants' defense may not necessarily do that. Either 3 and outs. Martindale blitzed on 44% of the dropbacks, which ranked second last season. Bowen blitzed just 22% of the time, which is 20th. All right. It still wouldn't be surprising to see some similarities in the Giants' defense under Bowen. He may be a younger, less aggressive play caller than Martindale, but both were at different times understudies of Dean Pease. Vrabel, meanwhile, has the connection to Dable from their time together in New England, and Vrabel has been a big fan of Bowen. He's brought me up through the profession in some regard, Bowen said last year. I appreciate his confidence in me. Put it all together, and that is how the Giants landed on Bowen as their new defensive coordinator. So, obviously, there's some good, there's some bad. How a lot of times the Giants had 3 and outs his past couple of seasons and this, that, and the other thing and all that. You may not necessarily get that. It might be more like a Patrick Graham kind of thing, right? A lot of Patrick Graham's like, drop back in coverage, right? Let him complete the 7-yard pass, whatever it is. We run up, make the tackle, right? Get him down. Now it's 2nd and 3, right? We drop back in coverage, right? They complete the 5-yard pass. We come up, make the tackle, drop them down, right? Now it's 1st and 10. Make them do a 13, 14, 15 play drive without a penalty, without a turn, without a sack or something. It's not always that easy. You get a 15 play drive and go down and score a touchdown. You know what I mean? But that was kind of like more like a Patrick Graham kind of thing, is where Wink was sending people, right, to try to maybe get those 3 and outs, right? Get a sack or something, or anything. Pressure burst pipes, as he says, right? But so with Bowen, unfortunately, you might see more completed passes. So which is going to be kind of interesting to see. How does Shane maybe help the secondary? Is he going to help the second? Because we might need better coverage guys, or guys. So it's going to be interesting to see. But hopefully, that's it. I mean, there's the good and the bad, right? But hopefully we're not going to see the Philadelphia Eagles running for 250 yards against us, right? Okay, we might be, wouldn't it be nice just to give up 80 yards a game rushing the ball on defense? Right, get into third and down into third down conversion, right? Be good, but also in the red zone, right? And get into the red zone, good there. So yeah, there's good and bads. I mean, there's some good things about Wicks that you're not getting with Bowen, but then there's some things with Bowen you're not going to get with, so right. Now, once again, I said a lot of it also has to do with talent. Going to be interesting to see. We don't have a ton of salary cap, so I said we might be able to make maybe a little big splash, maybe. But then, of course, it's going to be, what are we looking at here as far as with the draft? Because we got a couple 3 picks in the top 50, right? Got to get a wide receiver. And I'd be shocked if in the we don't take a wide receiver, maybe an offensive lineman, right? But then what do we do with the other pick? We go for grab a guard, or really try to solidify that offensive line and take a number 1 wide receiver, and then we worry about the defense with the 3rd round pick, 4th round. It's gonna be interesting to see. Or what do we do? Do we take a quarterback? Very, very interesting to see. But as I said, with Bowen, there's some good, but there'll be some bad. Right? It's the way it is with everything. Right? All right. And of course, we got good old T-Mac, my man. He lands in Tampa. Now, to be fair, some things, it's tough as a defense as a special teams coordinator. It's difficult. Because a lot of it, is that, I've been hearing, on these podcasts and all that stuff and everything. And, it's like, all right, T-Mac, these are the guys you got to play with this week. Right? It might be, he might have a gunner or 2, like Darnay Holmes, who did very, very well as a gunner last season. Well, all of a sudden, say Flott gets injured. Dables goes up to T-Mac, and it's like, sorry, we got to take Darnay Holmes, so he's not going to be your gunner this week because we need him in the slot. Flott, who works in the slot? See what I did there? I'm a poet, and I didn't even know. Flott's hurt. We're taking Darnay Holmes from you. He's going to be our slot corner, so now you got to find a new gunner. Thanks. I mean, you can find a gunner. You can put me in as gunner. Doesn't mean I'm going to do any good. So now all of a sudden they're taking somebody who's really, really good. He can't use him. Right? And they got to find somebody else. He's got to teach him and hope and pray, get down on there and pray to sweet dear baby Jesus. Please let him make it. Right? So especially with a lot of the injuries, it's tough. He called it like gumbo, right? Right? I mean, it's kind of like, I take who they give me. I throw it in the pot and I try to make the best out of it, So it's not always, it's not always black and white. It's always like, well, you let up. Why'd you let up a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown? You suck as a coordinator. What are you doing? You blow. Yeah, right. But I mean, you don't realize is that he might have 3 or 4 new guys in there who maybe 1 or 2 of them, one drifted this way, and one ran down the field and one drifted that way. And now you have a hole this big in there. And these 2 guys that, were supposed to be, they're brand new to the punt coverage team. One, as I said, one drifts this way, one drifts that way. And now you got a nice size, and the guy takes it to the hole, takes it to, And so it's tough. It's tough. It's not that easy. A lot of the kicking woes, Graham Gano we put 3 kickers on injury. How do you put 3 kickers on injury reserve in a season? I mean, is that even possible? But some of it, and to be fair, the Scottish Hammer had a very nice season. 2 seasons ago, it was like, the Scottish Hammer was booming the 60-yard punts, but the punts were like this. So by the time they got to the punt returner, he's catching it pretty much on a line drive. He's looking, the ball's coming to him, and just he's looking down the field. It's like, man, they're about 30 yards away from me. I ain't fair catching this one. Boom, catches it, all right, and he's off. And by the time he catches it and takes his first step, the Giants returners are 10, 15, 20 yards away from him. Yeah, right. You want the guy, you want the punt. You want it like a mortar coming straight down, right? And the guy's like, oh my God, it's 350 feet in the air. It's got a 37-second hang time. By the time it gets to him, there's going to be 315 Giants around me. That's what you want, right? He did a lot better this season. 2 seasons ago, I mean, you can now kick your coverage or, if you're not dropping it in where you were supposed to and all that, it's, you're not helping the situation. But the Scottish Hammer did certainly did a lot better job this season, without question. There are a couple of things that, like with T-Mac, the one I'm bring up is that, it's been like what bothering me is that, like the first game of the season, right? I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy from the Cowboys who jumped over the line when our first field goal try to basically wiped out the whole season. Boom, right? Block, run back for a touchdown. Andrew Thomas pulls his leg. Boom, game over, season over. Right? The guy just doesn't, stand in the back, stand in the defensive backfield and they're calling signals and the center's there and he's getting ready to snap the ball and the guy standing back there is like, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna see that guy right there. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea at all. But you know what? I can't. I don't want to touch the center. I can touch the center. I get. You know what? The guard. Yeah, just screw it. I'm just gonna. As soon as they snap the ball, I'm gonna jump over that guy. I have no idea what's gonna happen. No idea. He could stand up. He could this. He could that. He could stand there waiting for me. He could punch me in the cojones as I'm jumping off. I have no idea what's gonna happen. But you know what? Right? I'm gonna take a wing at it. Let's see what happens, right? No, that don't happen, right? It's like he's standing in the back. The guy's standing in the defensive secondary is, he's like, yep, that's the guy right there. That's the guy that does this every time they snap a field goal. This guy does this. He gets about 2 feet off the ground. As soon as they snap it, I'm going right there because I know exactly what he's going to do. I'm going to jump over him. I'm going to get in the back, block it, and we're going to right. That's what they know that from watching film. Now, that's a coach is supposed to be able to see that, see mistake, tendencies, issues that you guys have, and supposed to be able to correct that. Shouldn't have a guy first field goal of the season. First, it wasn't like with 13 games in or 4 games in or, the first game of the season, but Graham Gano's is kicking his 17th field goal in the first game. No. First, 6 minutes into the season, first field goal of the season, right? Guy knows exactly who to jump over, exactly where to go, blah, 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 blah. Perfect. Works. Snaps the ball, jumps over the line of scrimmage, blocks it, run it back for a touchdown. Now, I'm not saying he knew he was going to run it back for a touchdown or anything like that, or Andrew Thomas is going to pull his hamstring. I think Graham Gano even got cleated. Somebody stepped on his ankle or his foot or something like that. I mean, what a freaking nightmare that game was. But he knew where to go, where to jump, right? And all that. Work like a charm, right? See, that's something a coach should know, right? Coach should be watching film, this, that, and the other thing. He should know that. And as I said, it's not like it's something that built up over the season. The guy knew first field goal of the season where to go, and it worked like a charm. Some things like that are, But T-Mac is a heck of a guy. He was with the Giants for a while, so. God bless him. Hey, man, I wish him nothing but the best. I think he's a real class act of a guy. I wish him not, except when he's playing the Giants, of course. But good luck to you, brother. Good luck to you. All right. And then we got good old Saquon. My man, Saquon. Oh, yeah, by the way, yeah, he's going to be their special teams coordinator. He's Yeah, because, I mean, T-Mac, he was with the 3 Giants head coaches, right? So, with Shermer, Judge, and Dable. That's pretty damn impressive, right? So, of course, you got the Judge and Shermer, 2 loser coaches, and as bad as coaches they were, he went from one coach to the next, right? So, right? But as 6 straight seasons in which he worked for 3 different head coaches, has been hired by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be their special teams coordinator. So, and he's only 50 years old. So good for him. And he was also on the Giants staff from 2007 to 2010 as his team's assistant special teams coordinator. So, and he replaces Keith Armstrong, who retired after the 2023 season. So Keith Armstrong was the special teams coordinator for the Bucs. So that's who he's replacing. So once again, as I said, good for him. Good for him. I wish him nothing but the best. Then, of course, we got, everybody's got, I'll tell you what, this is a lot. I mean, these 2 guys, you're either here or you're here with these 2 guys. There's like almost not, especially I see a lot of this in the Facebook group, a lot, right? One guy's here. The comments are either here or there's nobody in the middle, right? The 2 guys, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. It's amazing. I mean, a lot of people, 85% Daniel Jones are like, get rid of him. The other 15, 20% said, I think he can still, Saquon, close to 50-50, maybe 60-40, 60-55-45, pretty close to, a lot of people say keep him. Other people say get rid of him. So, but Daniel Jones is like, oof, it's like there's nobody even close in the middle. But Saquon, he still believes in used to be I believe in Eli, but he believes in Daniel Jones. Good old Saquon, my man. Saquon Barkley doubled down on his belief that Daniel Jones is a great quarterback. Okay. That's what you call being a great teammate right there. Barkley and Jones are quite close. Yes, they are. Which is why it's no surprise that number 26 spoke so highly of his quarterback here. Remember when a fan in Miami tried trolling Jones after he got hurt? Barkley was there to shut him up for the childish move. Yeah, yes, he was. 2023, the Giants went 6-11, and the disappointing play from Jones and the offense certainly played a big role in things. In 6 games played, Jones missed most of the year with a neck injury following by his torn ACL. He had a rough season, man, I'll tell you. The former number's overall 6th pick tossed 2 touchdowns while throwing 6 interceptions. Oh, my God. Jones will be the first one to tell you he needs to play better, but the fact of the matter is that he needs to show Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen something head-turning in 2024 if he wants to be with the team beyond next season, because they have the out. He's got to be with the Giants next season, but they can get rid of him after next season, right? They'll have $22 million in dead cap money, but they can get rid of him. They'd have 22 in dead cap money and get rid of him, but they'd be saving themselves about $20 million in cap money as well. So, and that's one of the things that looks so kind of appealing, right? Is that, thinking about bringing in, somebody, whether you draft, I say it's so tough to draft somebody at 6, possibly if the first 3 picks are quarterbacks. I don't know if there's somebody there, number 6, just from what I'm hearing. That's all I'm saying. That's all from what I'm hearing. I don't know if there's a 4th quarterback who's worth being taken at number 6, just from what I'm hearing. So therefore, you think that if they're going to go through the draft and maybe grab a quarterback, you're looking at the 2nd round, maybe the 3rd round, quite possibly, right? But what's so appealing about that, is if you grab somebody and, you're going to work with them, right? Develop them, have Daniel Jones this season, right? And then if you let Daniel Jones go, that's bring it. You got this guy you got in the 2nd round, maybe the 3rd round, if you think that you can move forward with him. Or regardless, if you think that if you draft somebody in the 2nd round or 3rd round and you think Maybe they're not Tom Brady. Maybe they're not Joe Montana. Maybe they're not Dan Marino, right? But maybe, they can be okay, right? If you don't believe in Daniel Jones. So maybe you get rid of Daniel Jones after the season. You save yourself some money. I did a thing on Spencer Rattler. I think it was last night. Bring Spencer Rattler in, draft him in the second or third round, bring him in, right? And give him the reins next season, right? If it works out, it works out. If it does, but the appealing thing is, right, is that if you draft Spencer Rattler in the third round, he's costing you $1 million a season. You ain't got no fifth-year option on him. But like if this season he sits behind Daniel Jones and learns, next season in 2025, you get rid of Daniel Jones, then you got Spencer Rattler for 3 more seasons. Not saying, if he winds up stinking, you're not going to have him for 3 more seasons, But if he does work out, as I said, you got him on the cheap. Then you got 3 seasons, right, where you can start building a team around Spencer Rattler, right? You can go out and maybe grab another edge rusher for $25-30 million a season because you're only paying your starting quarterback $1 million. If you got Tommy Chick and Cutler Parmesan as a backup for $1 million, right? Spencer Rattler for $1 million, right? I said, I'm sure you're going to want a veteran backup quarterback as well too. But if you're only paying Spencer Rattler $1 million a season instead of Daniel Jones 40, that's $39 extra $1 million. You can, as I said, you can go out and buy yourself bring yourself in a couple good studs, right, to help build the team with. So that's the one appealing thing as far as if you had to get rid of Daniel Jones. But let's see. So if the team wants to get with the way his contract is structured, New York could move on before the 2025 season gets here, despite the fact that Shane has said multiple times that he expects Jones to be his guy once week 1 gets here next September. It's unknown if Barkley, who wants to be a Giant for life, will be in the backfield with Jones or not. But if he is, the two will look to create some magic again, similar to the way they did in 2022. And, they do work very well together. The one nice thing with the 2 guys together is, they work. Unfortunately, Jones has had some injuries. Saquon's had some injuries, but there's no denying that when the 2 of them have been healthy and have been in the field at the same time, they kind of know what one's thinking. They know what they're doing. A lot of it also helps. The offensive line's got to stay healthy. Right. And we have to, build some cohesion there. Hopefully with a new offensive line coach, we can start getting that to happen. But there's no denying it with, Daniel Jones and Saquon, because now Daniel Jones, obviously, one more time for the hearing impaired, obviously has got some issues throwing the ball. Oh my God, he can't. He can't drop back the. Okay, I got the ball. I'm dropping back the pass. Okay, I'm waiting for Darius Slayton. He's running a 5-yard. He's going to cut in. Okay, I'm looking for you, buddy. I'm looking. Okay, come on, make your turn. Okay, you're making your turn. Look at me. Okay, you're looking at me. I'm looking at you. You're looking at me. Okay, here comes the ball. Here it comes. It's coming right. You can't stare down your receiver. Even the other players in the other teams say, Daniel Jones stares his, which he does. He does. Yeah. So he's got some issues. But anyway, trying to be positive here. But there is no denying it. When those 2 are on the field together, Saquon makes Daniel better. Daniel makes Saquon better. Because Daniel has his legs. He can run, but also it helps if you have an offensive line too. But the one thing that makes Daniel, Saquon makes the Giants better is that, especially with the play action. The play action, it works wonders when you have, especially the 2 of them, right? Because if you have Y.A. Tittle back there, okay, trying to drop back and he ain't running, there's no threat there. or the RPO or the play action, right? Because you drop back, you freeze the linebackers or whatever for just a second because Saquon's back there. You don't know, is he getting the ball? No, he's not. Okay, right? Want to freeze everybody for just a second, but when there's the RPO, he either hands it off to Saquon, who's a threat, or Daniel Jones pulls it in and he takes off, who's a threat, right? So they both play off of each other without question. But it's nice to see. They're both sticking up for each other. But it's going to be interesting. I'm seeing some reports, and once again, just hearsay that the Giants are thinking about maybe moving on from Saquon. So who knows? But one thing I do know is that Shane said he was going to talk to, I guess, Saquon's agents at the Combine. So the Combine starts the 27th, I think it is. So you could probably, I was hearing on Big Blue Kickoff Live, very good show, very informative, that Shane will probably be down there the 26th. Now, quite possibly, Saquon's agents and all might be down there maybe the 26th as well, right? Why not get down there both maybe day early when you can maybe talk? Because once the Combine goes on, well, Shane might be spending more time looking at the draftees, right, instead of talking contracts, right? So if anything's going to happen, you see any of these reports like with the Giants are probably going to move on from Saquon or this or that. Well, take that with a grain of salt, because Shane said that he's not going to talk to Saquon's agents until the Combine, which is February 26th. So this is the 7th, right? So it's 19 days. All right. So after in 19, 20 days from now, then maybe any stories that come out about Saquon might have some more validity to them. But I wouldn't pay too much attention to anything. But there is no denying, right, that Saquon makes Daniel better, and tough to say Daniel makes Saquon better, but but it's nice to see they're still sticking up for him. Now, whether they're going to be on the team together or not, it's anybody's guess. All right, guys, it's been 1 hour, 2 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching replays, once again, thank you so much from my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.